Let's do this. The Cult of Hockey podcast by the faithful and for the faithful. I'm here tonight with Bruce McCurdy. Hey, Bruce.
Hey David, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing a little better than last night. I was able
Good.
to play in a pickup hockey game tonight. I apologize to all the people who wait up for this podcast, but I had to go play tonight, and I'm not gonna miss a chance to actually play hockey any chance I get that. So hell of a game though, Bruce, tonight. This was a fantastic game for Oiler fans. Like in so many different ways. And although this is usually our two good things, two bad things, and two numbers podcasts, we're just going to go with. Sorry, we're just going to. If you're wedded to that the formula for some reason, we're throwing it out the window. It's our
Bad
podcast.
things? What was bad
We
about
couldn't
this
think
game?
of any bad things. Could you?
No,
I
I
couldn't.
mean, it wasn't 8-0, I guess. A bad thing.
Yeah, there was maybe the odd defensive. Jones and Bear got walked on that one goal, but they played so well. Otherwise, it just seems chippy to pick on them
Yeah,
for that. So
agree. No, it was a good night, and we might as well just focus on the good things. Good things are
three good.
happening right now.
It's the three good things each podcast and
Wow.
one number.
Okay, that's still probably not enough good things to cover everything, but it'll give us a good run and start at it for sure.
Yeah, walking into Calgary and winning 8-3 against your
Oh,
your big rival. Bruce, these Oilers are this is a good Oilers team, Bruce. I didn't tweet this out, but I was thinking like I was my prediction is they're gonna go on a winning streak this
mhm.
year. I don't know if it's gonna be now, but this Oilers team is capable of putting together 5, 6, 7, 8 games in a row of winning. Just winning 9 games in a row, you know. Just a long winning streak because this is shaping into a team where everyone knows their roles and it's got good, excellent attacking and excellent power play, good penalty killing, and it's all about the goaltending. If they can get at least as good goaltending, if not better than the other team, this is a very good NHL team right now. Your good thing your first good thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Um, so many good things. The I guess just the way the game started. So I'm going to start with number 56, Kailer Yamamoto, who scored the first goal just 34 seconds into the first period by jumping on a chance in front, burying it past uh, David Riddick, who was the object of the Oilers' affection for much of this game. And Yamamoto, he was an absolute buzzsaw in this game, just all over the puck. And he wasn't alone. Like his whole line was all over the puck. But he and Draisaitl together teamed up on guys 2 or 3 times, just tracked them down and wouldn't let them escape with the puck. And he wound up with one goal, first goal, big goal, and then one huge assist, the primary assist on what I thought was the biggest goal in the game, the 5-3, after Calgary scored a couple like very much against the flow of play to make it 4-3, and Cam Talbot who'd come in and was stopping everything, and including a few miracle saves. Um, and it seemed like somehow Calgary was going to chip away and get back in the game somehow, even though Edmonton was dominating play. And then that slick pass that Yamamoto fed to Ryan Nugent Hopkins for the 5-3. To me, that was the play of the game. But I'm just loving everything about this guy's game right now. You know, tonight he had 3 shots, 2 takeaways, and he was, in fact, all 3 guys on the line had multiple takeaways. I'm not sure I've ever seen that before. They were just all over the puck, and he's just a water bug and skating effectively and just as hard and just as determined and committed on the defensive side of the puck as he is in the offensive end of the ice. This is to my eye basically a 200-foot player.
Bruce, yeah, we're seeing a special line right now. Like this is a
Yeah.
treat. Like this is one of the. I was just trying to think when did we last see a line like three players working this well together? Like Nugent Hopkins, Eberle, and Hall had it going on for a while. That was a pretty good line. This line right now, we'll see if they continue on together. But this line is fantastic. Like this is an absolute treat. They created seven grade A scoring chances at even strength, that line.
Wow.
Um, that's tremendous. I mean, and the Oilers average about 10 a game as a team. That was just at even
Yeah.
strength. So and McDavid and Cassian had and Archibald had 5. So the
Wow.
top two lines, they had it going on, and yeah, this player Yamamoto, it's I don't want to say like this line is kind of like Soviet like this the passing, but they all have such great hockey sense and great hands for passing because passing is what makes this line great. It does remind me a little bit of the Soviet hockey of the 70s and 80s. It was so predicated on pinpoint passing.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of that. There's plenty of speed and puck movement and player movement and skating to holes and getting the puck back and give and go and tic tac toe and when they don't have possession of the puck, they're on it, right? They're not sort of pulling back and they're just all over the puck and they're just not giving the other team any chance to do anything with it. And it's a joy to watch. This is I would say maybe the you could say the line of McDavid, Draisaitl, and Maroon during the
Yeah,
2016-17
fair enough.
season.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's utilizing the two star players. The beauty of this line is that you've now got them going like this, and you've freed Connor, McDavid on another line to drive another line. And guess what? When you got two lines of that caliber, you're going to control a big percentage of the game, and that's what they've been doing. And they're eight, 1 and 2 since they called Yamamoto up and put him in the lineup. 8, 1 and 2.
Wow. Excuse me. My good thing, Bruce, is the goalie fight. I love that goalie fight. That goalie fight is going to be like watched how many times on Twitter and YouTube that
Oh
video.
man,
And and it was just such a throwback. It was straight out of 1974. That was so Philadelphia Flyers. I don't,
slapshot.
oh God, that was fantastic. It was so first of all, it was so stupid. It was
Uh,
marvelously, wonderfully stupid. Like these two guys and these padding. There's no reason for them to fight, right? And Smith comes out, and I don't know what he said to Talbot. They're both hotheads, I think, and they're beaking off at each other, and it's just it was such a carnival, wonderful kind of carnival atmosphere. WWF, Stampede Wrestling, a meeting of the minds at center ice. And Smith, of course, for the Oilers fan perspective, Smith beat the hell out of Talbot. And I
yeah,
don't
he
know if
won
that
the fight.
last I don't know if that last punch landed when Talbot was falling back and Smith was coming down on him. It looked to me like that punch might have landed, and that was a wicked punch. So I don't know. It was just funny that it's funny that fighting is part of hockey still. Like honestly, like it's the only sport I think that just kind of is permissive about fighting. No other sport allows that. But it just let's face it, we Canadians we love it. Everyone, I was listening to Cassie Campbell and the people after the game. Everyone just was, we all got our entertainment value out of that. Like Kelly Rudy says, we did. We love it for some reason, Bruce. I love it, and I love that fight.
Yeah, well, when the all Calgary intermission panel of David Amber, Cassie Campbell, and Kelly Rudy is waxing ecstatic over an 8-3 Edmonton win over their beloved Flames. That's something unusual is going on. And that was pretty unusual. My wife is in the minority that did not enjoy that fight. She said, "This is ridiculous. These are grown men," she said. What are they
So
doing? But Talbot,
what did you say? Did
Talbot,
you have to
well,
bite your
Talbot,
lip or?
well, a little bit, and I was laughing, but Talbot, I mean, he kind of initiated that whole incident. I mean,
He
I'm sure
did.
a Calgary fan would say Sam Gagner initiated it by trying to push a loose puck into the net, which he actually did. That Talbot was kind of laying back on, and the puck was visible and kind of loose, and Gagner did what a goal scorer should do and went for it. And Cam did not appreciate that. And he got up and he gave Gagne a couple of wicked shots with the goalie paddle, and that's what sort of set off the huge melee that broke loose at that point. And then, of course, Mr. Gutsy Matthew Tkachuk decides to challenge an NHL rookie with zero career fights, Ethan Bear, and said rookie acquitted himself fairly well in that bout. But Talbot was hot, and he stayed hot. And Smith kind of came out to center ice and said, "Well, a 6-on-5 down there because our goalie's in the middle of it, so maybe our goalie needs to be there too." And I don't know what he said, but anyway, the two of them and they wound up both getting the heave ho from the game because it was the second fight, and that's the league rule now. Like, they don't want these brawls. Uh, they these line brawls where everybody's going at it. So they made a hard and fast rule a few years ago that if there's one fight in progress, if anybody goes in a secondary bout, they're gone from the game. So this meant the two goalies were gone from the game. But the funny thing, David, up to Wednesday, game number 50 of the season, the Oilers hadn't had one game all year that had two fights in it in the entire game. And they had two in that game also against Calgary, and then three tonight, including two on the same stoppage. So things are heating up, and especially within the Battle of Alberta, it's getting it's amping up. Let's just leave it with that.
I miss it from the '80s, honestly, Bruce. All the fighting, this is a reminder of how much fun it was. I know on the other hand, it got stupid. Like guys were injuring each other. It seemed like as time went on, more and more, fighting became this thing between behemoths who all they did was fight, and that was stupid. And then it seemed like players were getting hurt a lot in fighting, and that's stupid. So, but there is something about it too, though, that's just wonderfully entertaining. Remember the Habs Quebec Nordique games in the playoffs in the '80s. The fighting in those games, and the Oilers and the Flames, of course. Anyway. So what's your next good thing?
Oh, well, just in that same general vein, but not a fight, but a play that I particularly enjoyed on the physical side of things was Darnell Nurse absolutely burying Matthew Tkachuk beside the Edmonton net on a not too dissimilar play that got Talbot upset at the other end. There was a puck that popped up and fluttered up, and Smith grabbed it over the net. And so it was way above the crossbar. And Tkachuk came in and he was waving his stick around a little bit there. And I think he probably got Smith on the fingers. And Darnell Nurse did not take kindly to that. He's already targeted Tkachuk with a pretty vicious hit on Wednesday night. It's game on with that guy after some of the shenanigans that he's been pulling off.
Oh yeah.
So, and Darnell's not one to back away from that stuff. But in this case, he did exactly what you want your defenseman to do: clear the crease, and clear it, without compassion. Down and out went Matthew Tkachuk. And there wasn't even a penalty because the ref knew this is just hockey. A guy gets in the blue paint and hacks at the goalie, he's going to have to, stand up to it or lie down to it in this particular case. And the other event was the time that Tkachuk took a run at Cassian and missed him, and wound up banging himself up. So that's
Nurse
also the way it goes.
Nurse went full pronger on him there. That was very sweet.
Very sweet. That's a good comp. That's what Pronger would have done when the situation was right. In this case, I would argue the situation was right. That was the play you want your defenseman to do, and I can't think of any Oiler defenseman, even Adam Larson. I can't think of one I'd rather have delivering the verdict with malice aforethought. And he didn't overdo it. He just took him down hard.
Show them no mercy, for they shall show you none. All right. My next best thing is just the defense as a whole, Bruce. And I'm not going to go on at length about each player, but they're all really good hockey players. And Caleb Jones had a lot of really nice little movements with the puck, quick movements with the puck. Oscar Klefblom's playing at his highest level of hockey ever. Adam Larson stepped up his game. Starting when Adam Larson plays like this, the Taylor Hall trade starts to make sense a little bit from an Edmonton perspective. Again, New Jersey got a huge win. They got a great player in Taylor Hall. But Adam Larson can be a very good hockey player. And we saw that. He and Klefblom are playing at a very high level right now. Nurse and Bear are really good. So Uh, this defense, Bruce, finally, you need a strong defense. It's the backbone of your team. You can't win consistently in the NHL without that. The Oilers lack that for ever since well, I guess 2008-09, you might argue. They had an okay defense, at least a good defense. This defense has a chance to be better than that because there's a lot of players still moving up. Clefbaum has finally reached his peak. Nurse is moving up. Bear, Jones, Benning. Larson is when he's playing like this, he's at his peak. This is a defense that's young and really good, and they got Evan Bouchard coming into the mix. Man, this is exciting. To me, this is what makes the Oilers have a chance to be a consistent winning team because they always had these two. They've had great attacking players for a decade since Taylor Hall came to town. They haven't had a defense, and now they got it.
Nice to see young Caleb Jones chipping in on the offense. 2 goals in 2 games, and I mean both of them were, not exactly goals. They were just point shots that found holes into the net. But it's nice to see some results for that player. Nothing's going to boost a guy's confidence more than that. He got burned. I thought the first goal, Buddy
Sure
Robinson
did.
made him look like um, a smaller, weaker man on that particular play. But he he's got the skating legs and the puck movement, and this is an interesting time with Chris Russell out of the lineup, just to maybe see a little glimpse of the future, because many people, including myself, think Russell may well be gone this off season, and so how will the team do without the guy? Well, so far so good with a pair of nice wins, and the third pair performing nicely.
With the expansion draft coming up, the Oilers may have to protect 4D. It's going to be interesting. We'll see how this plays out. All right. What's your next best thing?
Well, I got to go back to Leon Draisaitl. And since the Oilers came back from their break, they played 3 games, and he's been first star of all 3 games. Now, you and I will agree that the selection of him on Wednesday night was a flawed one. He had some fine moments in that game, but he also had some not fine moments in that game. But these 2 games, last night and tonight, he was outstanding in both games. And tonight, again, just all over the puck. I don't know how many passes he disrupted by having his big stick. It's like he's carrying a goalie stick around there with this huge paddle in it. And he just got a piece of so many Calgary passes that either caused a change in possession or at least sent the puck off over to the boards where Calgary had to recover and start all over again. And on the back check, I mean, I think my favorite play of the game was on the 5-3 goal where
Yeah.
that line had a lot of pressure for an extended period, and finally Calgary got it, and young Oliver Shillington was walking out of the Calgary zone in possession and looking to at least get it to center and shoot it in and get the hell off the ice, and Leon just stalked him down from behind before he even got to the blue line. Leon was on a stick on the puck. It was gone. It was going back towards the Calgary net. He got a good shot away, and then Yamamoto and Nugent Hopkins cleaned up the chaos and put it away. And that was a huge goal in this game.
Yeah.
His assists. He got 4 secondary assists in this game, which is not his usual. Usually their primaries are goals. But even the first one, where he was right on the defenseman who was trying to clear the puck, just make a safe pass into the corner. He got a piece of it with his skate, and it went to Clefbaum, and from there to the front of the net where Yamamoto put it home. And, a little bit of a lucky bounce, but caused by puck pressure and actively challenging for the puck, and just the way he's skating, the way he's making these little skill plays, like receiving passes that are, not necessarily in a good place, but if it's anywhere near him, he's able to somehow get a hold of that puck, pull it in, and he's done that and cut down on the mistakes, and really finding his new level, really centering his own line, uh, and where he's sort of, everything goes through him, right? And even though he does have the skilled line mates, there's no question which one of the three is running that line, and that's Leon Draisaitl, who now has a 4-point lead in the NHL scoring race. In the 10 games since I put that line together, Leon's got 21 points and he's plus 13. And in those uh, 10 games, he's had 2 or more points in 8 of the last 9, including the last 5 in a row, multi-point games, 5 in a row.
Yeah. I
He's
hope
just firing on all cylinders.
kind of, well, whatever. People can say what they want. Like, there's always been this crew that Draisaitl can't run his own line.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, give your head a shake. Did anyone who said that, did they not watch the 2017 playoffs? Like, I just think it's a dim bulb comment, honestly, Bruce. Like, I've never bought it. In the heat of a playoff battle for a full series, you're doing it. He can do it. The temptation for him and McDavid, I think, when the team was seemingly weaker, is they just wanted to play together and put up points. And, it was interesting to see, again, and I mentioned it last night, how that played out this year, because it started to have negative repercussions for the team and the two players. They were good on the attack, but they were really weak in their own end, and it was a mess. The Oilers weren't going to win if they continued with that. It wasn't working. So it is just fantastic to see Draisaitl play like he can, and to be this player, because when he's this player, Bruce, that's the player that can help the Oilers win the Stanley Cup this year and in years to come. That's a Stanley Cup winning hockey player, because he's not only super skilled, he's big and tough, and just a load in his own end. So with Nurse and Cassian and Draisaitl, like, I know it's kind of the same group, I think, in some ways, that I think underrates all of those 3 players. But I just think those are the players who in the playoffs will help you win the Stanley Cup. And of course, Connor McDavid's in the same group in a different way. But you can't win the Cup without those guys, with that kind of player. But those guys will take you right on their back, right through the playoffs. And I can't wait to see it. And we might see it sooner than later.
When Leon is fully focused, as he is now, he's a dominant player, and it's just wonderful to watch. Tonight in the face-off dot, Leon won 11 and lost 7, on a night that the rest of his teammates won 11 and lost 28. So this was a game Calgary was kicking butt in the face-off dot, except for when they were going up against Leon Draisaitl, and he was winning more than his share. He's just got so much game, He's a passer. He's a finisher. There was a play early in the third period. The Oilers had that power play on the Talbot penalty, and they had the odd intermission that was 24 seconds early, and they came out for that power play, and they just weren't very focused. And Calgary had a couple of jailbreaks, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins came tearing back to break one up, and then Leon Draisaitl came tearing back to break the next one up, and just the 200-foot, I always respect a player who skates just as hard when he's going back in defense of his own net as he is on the attack, and we saw 2 examples of that there in short order.
Alrighty.
It's a joy to watch.
My final good thing, Sam Gagner's play tonight. I've really been loving the Gamster in the last little while, and I'm going to highlight a play. It was in the first period. We marked it on our scoring chat summary here. Let me just find it. There was a Calgary play. They got it at the net, in tight at the net, on Larson and Clefbaum. It was a tough play. It wasn't, they weren't bad on it. Calgary just pounded it at the net, and there was a rebound play. And Reeder got a couple shots, I think, grade A chances. And there would have been a goal by Michael Backlund, who was right there. but on him and not looking at the puck, not drawn towards the puck like he would have been 7 years ago with the Oilers. Like he definitely would have been looking at the puck and skating towards it and leaving Backlund open. But instead, covering Backlund, taking his body, taking his stick with Sam Gagner. That was fantastic. And that's the player Sam Gagner he's become. And he's, Bruce, I would have never said this, but I'm starting to wonder if he might earn a contract for next year. Why not? Like as a fourth line player,
Won't be
power
the
play
same. It
fill
won't
in.
be the same money, but you got this player on $1 million contract or 1.2 or whatever, and it's less of a as it is. I mean, he was a contract dump, and uh, there's no way any team he ever signs another $3 million contract, but he can still play in the league, and he's proven that. And I think the 3 games since the break, he's been tremendous. Like he's been playing hard and highly motivated and making skill plays, but also making tough plays and going hard to the net. He started that scrum by jamming away at the puck. He had another play where he had a great deflection from in close, and then finally he was rewarded with a wicked shot from the grade B scoring chance area, but probably a goal the goalie should have had. But the shot was tremendous from where he let it go. He just he put it through a keyhole from 35 feet.
I'd like to see him with McDavid. Like I really want to see him with Cassian and McDavid. I think that might be. I'm not going to say he's going to be their Yamamoto. He doesn't have that kind of speed,
Mm-hmm.
but that might work. That might work, Bruce. He's a really smart two-way hockey player right now. So thumbs up to Gagne. All right, let's go to our numbers. What is your number?
Oh boy, pick numbers. I'll go with 49-26, which were the shots on goal in this game, including a
Wow.
franchise record tying 24 shots in the second period. And this was a part of the game where the Oilers had the lead, and sometimes usually you expect them to sort of fall back a little bit and start muddling around, playing defensive hockey in their own end of the ice without the puck a little bit. Sometimes you see that happening with a multi-goal lead, but they were just chomping at the bit to score. And even after they drove Riddick from the net, they just peppered Cam Talbot. I think Talbot had 21 shots in the second, and he didn't come in until let's see now. Talbot, where is he?
1642.
Yeah, 21 shots, and he only played 16 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
right? And he faced 21 pucks, and they were just all over it and taking it to the net. And even the third and fourth lines, they weren't generating great shots, but they were generating shots. They were winning battles, and they were directing pucks towards the net. And Edmonton, it was a dominant period. They were very unlucky that Calgary scored 2 against the flow of play, but Edmonton deservedly got 3 goals in that period. And they just dominated the shot clock. I mean, we had 20-11 in grade A scoring chances, which is a high number, and of course, it's the best number. 8 goals to 3. 8 goals.
My number's similar, Bruce.
Okay.
It's a shot metrics number. It's grade A scoring chances over the last 3 games.
Okay.
So this is twice against the Flames, a
Yep.
good team, and against the Blues, a really good team. The Oilers have 44 grade A scoring chances to 28 for the opposition. And there's been periods in each game, lengthy periods. The Oilers were unlucky to lose the first game
Yep.
against Calgary. They fully deserve the win against St. Louis, and they deserve the win tonight. There's been periods in each game where the Oilers have absolutely taken over the game, long periods, where they've been the better team against really good teams. And this is really encouraging. This is really different, new, unique, exciting, and it's the mark of a strong hockey team that can compete for the Stanley Cup. That's what we're seeing right now in the Edmonton Oilers, and it's interesting. They were going so well, and the break came, and it seemed in other years there was always any little thing would throw the team off. They'd be going, and then they'd have a break, and then they'd come back from the break and start losing again, or whatever it was. Right? There was always something coming up. A former player would score on them. just endless. Their goalies letting in early goals. One thing after another would foil the Oilers' chances. But this team seems kind of foil proof. They have it going on, Bruce. And again, as long as the goaltending is solid, this team is a very, very good NHL hockey team right now. Very
As long as the
impressed.
right guys stay healthy,
Yeah,
they're on the ascendant. It's obvious to the eye, and it's obvious in the stats and the numbers and the outcomes. And I mentioned that they've got in their last um, what was it now, 11 games, they've scored just a ridiculous number of goals, 51 goals, 52 goals, I think, in 11 games. I mean, that's Oiler hockey from, you know, from back in the day, 5 goals a game almost. They put up 7 on a couple of teams. They put up 8 tonight. That's the first time they got to 8 this year.
yeah,
And
it's
they're
fascinating.
starting to put up consistently uh, decent to very decent to outstanding goal numbers in every game.
And a lot of people tie it to Yamamoto coming up, and that's big. But Caleb Jones is also like, I just think puck moving from the defense is absolutely critical. It was so painfully missing from Oilers teams as recently as last year when they tried to solve the problem with Petrovic and what was the other? Oh, Manning.
Hmm.
And they just, instead of trying to break the forecheck with speed and passing, it was like, let's go back to heavy hockey. Oh, cost Shirley his job. Uh, it was the last thing, at least, it did. But having these guys that can move the puck like Barron Jones and Clefbaum, man, this team, it's good. Bruce, you got to write the game grade, so
Yeah, I'm partway through and
let's
back
wrap it
at her
up.
now in a minute. And yeah, no bad things to talk about tonight. So let's enjoy this one, Oil Country. That revenge on Calgary was a little slow in coming, but it sure was sweet when it arrived.
Yeah, it was as sure as a Darnell Nurse cross check to the face.
Well, yeah.
Felt better though. All right, thanks, Bruce. Thanks for talking tonight.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
And in the meantime, and in between times, this has been another edition of the Cult of Hockey podcast.